The Crypto Markets Update is brought to you by KuCoin, the best place to find the next crypto gem.
Past week was just one in a long string of losses for crypto. Joining us now to discuss this recent slump is Charles Allen. He's CEO of blockchain infrastructure firm BTCS. Good morning, Charles. Welcome back.
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Good seeing you again. Of course, this has been a tough market for a lot of people, particularly last week. Last week was a very painful week for many small investors, retail investors, as well as institutional. What happened, in your view, to lead to this downturn, and what does this upcoming week look like for you?
Well, I mean, obviously, you guys have talked at length about Luna, right? Obviously, that instills fear, right? At the end of the day, markets are kind of emotionally driven, right? If the perception by both retail and institutional investors is that things are slowing, it's going to have a dramatic effect on the market. There's also, at a macro level, we're coming out of a recession. There's the war in Ukraine. Inflation is at all-time highs. And so the general markets are down pretty hard. I mean, if you look at the NASDAQ from its, recent all-time high of, 17,000, we're down around, 12,000. So, you have the confluence of both the markets, general equity markets and crypto markets coming down at the same time, which really hasn't happened in a long time, right? If ever, right? It's, we've had these crypto winners in the past, which have been very short-lived. But the big market cycles, the dot-com bubble bursting, the financial crisis in 2008 and 9, we haven't really seen, both of these aligning at the same time. So I think this could be a little bit of a longer cycle. Hopefully the crypto markets recover more quickly than, as they have in the past.
Charles, how long do you think this will last? And would you start calling it a crypto winter?
I don't know the technical definition of a crypto winter. What I will say is, I think this creates a lot of opportunity. Having been in the space since 2013, I remember when Bitcoin was $1,000 in January 2014, and it dropped, to under $200 in January 15. We were actually trying to raise money, and we talked to tons of investors and said, Bitcoin, crypto's done, pack your bags, go do something else with your life. The reality is, in 2016, there were 5 million crypto users. As of 2021, there's over 220 million crypto users. So I don't think the technology is going anywhere. It is cryptocurrencies and blockchains allow for the movement of assets on a global basis without a trusted third party. And that's as big as the internet. So, a pullback of Bitcoin from over 60,000 to, 30, or Ethereum getting cut in half, in the grand scheme of things, if you just kind of scale back and say, hey, let's not worry about what happens next week. Is this technology here to stay?
So,
I think the writing's on the wall for that, right?
Charles, where would you see the opportunity then? Do you see it in Bitcoin, ETH, or do you see it in more of the other alts?
We're a huge believer in Ethereum. I think there's opportunity in Bitcoin. I think there's probably more use cases for Ethereum. You can really build on top of it. Bitcoin, we've seen faster transaction speeds with the Lightning Network, but there really hasn't been a great solution that's been used to add smart contracts. So I think in terms of market opportunity, the Ethereum and the alts is probably where there's more upside potential, albeit there's a higher risk profile, right, than the majors like Bitcoin.
So Charles, for the retail investor that's been looking at this for a while, they were drawn to crypto because of these incredible returns, and they were drawn to Luna because of these incredible returns. This whole thing collapsed. Luna and Terra imploded, and Bitcoin as well over the past year has lost a lot of money for people. Longer term, are these kind of losses yes, it is volatile, and people do make a lot of money. But do you think that over time, these kind of implosions that happen because of faulty models, et cetera, coupled with losses in the majors such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, do you think that shakes the confidence and the interest of the retail investor and delays any adoption and maybe prolongs any slump that we might have?
It'll definitely slow adoption, right? But it also does other things, right? thoughtful regulation is I think necessary, right? With the amounts of money that we're talking about in crypto now, having well thought out regulation to protect both retail and institutional investors, I think is key. And hopefully we don't have knee jerk reactions to things like Luna, and we the regulators come out with regulations that allow for innovation of the technology, allow hopefully for the U.S. to be continue to be a leader in the space. But I think as people lose money, it's hard, right? If you bought Bitcoin at 60,000 and it's at 30, and you went in more than you probably should have, this is a really hard thing to swallow. And if you have liquidity issues or needs, it's very difficult. I look at things, like I look at our company balance, and our cost basis for Ethereum is 1,000. And we'd been buying when it was 230, and we kind of averaged in at 1,000. And so, at 2,000, we're still up huge. So it's kind of, what is the lens you look at? Is it, are you stressing over your portfolio every day looking at the price of Bitcoin? That's probably not healthy, right? If you believe in the technology, look at it almost as buying a stock, right? If you like a stock, do you look at it every single day of the price? Come to a thesis, right? If you like Apple because you think they're going to make the next great product, invest in that company, right? And watch it grow.
Yeah.
And so I think if you look at crypto and you believe that it's going to be here, just take a longer term view.
I guess that's what's so tough. I mean, we just saw the charts for Terra and Luna. UST was at 8.5 cents, supposed to be $1, and Luna is less than a penny. I mean, these folks in the community really believed in their project, and there was a lot of brain power into these apps, and so it just goes to show, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in crypto, and you got to really be prepared for these kind of downturns, because it's going to separate the real players from the protocols that just don't work.